So there was this guy sitting next to me in the movie cinema, and he's obviously a huge Pokemon fan. So whenever there was a Pokemon on screen, he was bursting out with laughing. A bit like James Brown. And he made the experience. So Pokemon, Detective Pikachu, is about this guy played by Justin Smith, who's trying to find information about his dad who's gone missing and is presumed dead. Here he runs into Pikachu, and he can understand Pikachu. And this is in a world where Pokemon and humans all kind of hang out together, but humans can't understand Pokemon. So this is a weird thing. And now Pikachu and Justin Smith's character have to team up together and become world-class detectives. And so Pikachu's voiced by Ryan Reynolds, and when I heard that Ryan Reynolds was cast as the voice of Pikachu, I was a little bit thrown off, because I went, well, is this just going to be Deadpool, but in Pikachu form? And it's not. Granted, there are a lot of characteristics of Ryan Reynolds, but it's more Ryan Reynolds characteristics rather than Deadpool characteristics. So this was a pretty good movie. Let's start with the things that I think went well in this movie first. So firstly, we've got the humor. Now, I didn't find it overly funny. Don't get me wrong, it was funny, but everybody that I was with in the cinema, and I went opening day, they were laughing their asses off the whole time. Especially that dude next to me that I was telling you about. He was crazy loving it. And so the humor was pretty good. It was Ryan Reynolds' dry humor mixed in with Justin Smith's reactionary humor, I guess you'd call it. And so I thought they made a good combo. Most of the jokes were very kid-friendly, and I would say it is aimed more at younger kids. However, there were a couple of adult jokes in there that really landed, that were just gonna go over the kids' heads. And so that kind of brings me to the second good thing. The acting was really good. Now, the roles that Justin Smith has been in haven't really been Oscar-worthy contenders and things like that, but having him as the co-lead, or I guess the only real lead in the film, because unless you didn't realize, Pikachu's not a real person. But he was really good. He was funny, he played his parts right, and there are a couple of tear-jerking moments in the film where he really nailed the drama. Ryan Reynolds, always good. It was a very Ryan Reynolds character he was playing, and I do have to admit, it didn't really fit the Pikachu character that's in the anime TV show. However, once you realise from the end of the film, which I can't give away, you'll understand more why they chose certain routes. Routes or routes? Hey Tim, is it routes or routes? Okay. Tim doesn't know. He's out back. He's hiding whilst I film this. And speaking of Pikachu, because I like to keep everything flowing well. When you first see the Pokemon interacting amongst real things in the real world, it is a bit off-putting, and I went, that doesn't really look like it belongs. However, I then question myself, like I do. Hang on, Jacob. Let's calm it down a second. You do realise Pokemon aren't real, and so it would look weird if it looked like they belonged. And so once I kind of watched it for about 10 minutes, I got over that, I got past it, and I embraced the kind of weird, wacky characters that are in there. Me personally, I'm not a huge Pokemon fan. I watch the show every now and then, played the cards a little bit. I know a couple of the characters, Pikachu, Charizard. Let me know in the comments how to actually pronounce it. The one who blows fire. I recognize Squirtle the turtle. I recognize the big fat looking pandery one. He was pretty cool. But apart from that, I didn't really recognize the rest of them. And I feel like if you knew the characters a lot more, this is one of those movies where the movie would be a lot more enjoyable for you. However, regardless, it still was a great time. Now let's go on to some of the things I didn't really enjoy. So as I said, the humor was good, but I felt it was more the banter humor, which does work with Ryan Reynolds. None of the humor really took place revolving the story, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It was all just kind of a punchline back and forth humor, if that makes sense at all. And the story, although it was a new concept, I guess, having Pokemon and things like that, it did feel like it's been done before. It felt very much like the Muppets movies, or that movie that came out with Melissa McCarthy. What was that called? Happy Time Murders. It was like a G-rated Happy Time Murders. It was goofy, campy, and kind of did feel a little bit out of place. I didn't overly buy into the world of the Pokemon and the humans interacting as one. I feel like if they laid the groundwork for that a little bit better in the beginning of the movie, it would have made the rest of the movie a lot smoother. Because you're really, as an audience member, meant to believe that Pokemon could exist in your world, I guess. But overall, it was a pretty good film. One of my big complaints, and I can't give it away, but there's something that happens at the end of the film, and I don't know if it's because I watch movies a lot, but halfway through the film, I went, I know what they're gonna do. And I was 100% correct in saying that. And it was a cool thing that they did, don't get me wrong. But then at the end of it, they had something happen regarding Pikachu. And when that happened, it kind of threw me off quite a bit. Because I feel like if I was in that situation, I would have definitely known, I would have definitely understood. And I feel like just as an audience member, the writers of the film, I'm just kind of expected to turn a blind eye to it, I guess. It wasn't a huge deal to me, but you know, it bothered me a little bit. And I'm sure it's gonna bother some other people. So this is a quick review. There's not much I really have to say about this film. It was good. Probably gonna get a sequel.
Cause let's face it, baby, these days, You gotta have a sequel!
But at the same time, it probably is a little bit forgettable. I don't think we're going to be talking about this film at the end of the year. All the actors were great, the story was okay, and it was cool to see the Pokemon in the world and realize it from the anime, I guess. And also that guy in the audience member who was laughing his ass off the whole time. Thank you for being there, because that is why I like the movies, because it is an experiential event. And stay tuned, because I'm going to have a video about that coming out in the next couple of days. So as we always do on my channel, I like to split it down the middle into two categories. What the quality of the film I thought, and how much I enjoyed the film. And remember, as always, film's subjective, so what I like, you guys might not like, and what you guys love, I might hate. But I do think that the two categories are important. So for the quality of the film, I'm probably going to give it a 5. It was good, the acting was really good, but the story was kind of a bit of a letdown. It had some good humor, some good jokes that landed, but the story was a bit of a letdown, and it was a bit predictable, and the action scenes weren't that good. In fact, now that I think about it, there was only really one action scene, and then another smaller action scene. It was a very character-driven story between the main characters. And as for my enjoyment of the film, I'm probably also going to give it a 5. It was worth watching, I wouldn't see it again. I'm glad I went and saw it. It was enjoyable with the audience, but I probably won't see it again, because there's just so many movies coming out right now. Check out my video, which I'm going to link below, if you don't know what other movies are coming out. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm going to have my review for The Hustle coming out in a couple of days. Make sure you leave a like if you like it, and make sure you comment down below what you're hoping to see in the movie, if you're looking for any particular Pokemon, and if you're into Pokemon at all and you're excited about it. And as always, guys, work hard and be lucky.